That's a beauty. Well, this is a little continuation on the journey of the F-22. I'm just I'm going to throw together just some snippets, but today I'm removing the old fuel system, and it's got to be totally overhauled. But you can see these tanks just slide. I got all the tanks out, and I just finally got this one out. They slide in here. They fit real tight. It doesn't take much to hold them in place, but we got all these wires running underneath it. All that's got to get redone. And then these are just like wires you buy pre-made, and they've got wire clips, and they got other pieces of extensions just dropped in there along the way to make them longer. So pretty much all the wiring harnesses are going to get redone because, well, it's just not. I'm glad the guy never finished this plane because I don't think it would have flown very long. Just from looking at the fuel system and how it was put together. But one thing that really was horrible is, see that gigantic piece of 100-pound Velcro. I still can't figure out how the hell he got the tank in there with Velcro on it. The tank fits very snugly. I'm trying to fit it in there again, but now I can't even get it back in there. And all these wires are pressed in there, so the tank fits snugly in there, and he had Velcro underneath it. And this is not like, light Velcro. It's like heavy. I still can't figure out how he actually got the tank all the way in there with the Velcro. But he got it in there. And I'm going to tell you what, I wasn't sure I wasn't going to be able to get this tank out without cutting the former out. But I somehow did, and I've already pulled the bottom off. But man, don't do this. That was a horrible experience. And of course the tanks are they're Kevlar, so that's cool, or fiberglass. I guess that looks like Kevlar, but as old as it is, it could be just some yellow fiberglass. And then all the fuel system was, I guess they had put fuel in it and then of course it never ran, or if it did ran, he just ran the engine up. And there was an engine in it, so I'm guessing he turned it on. But this is what's left. All this is garbage. It's just going in the trash. Hardened hoses. At least he used wire tie, but of course, or safety wire, but all the wire was not stainless, so it's like brittle, rusted. And of course this is all hardened. The rubber's hardened and cracked. So these are going away. And I'll put single inlets on the tanks with top mounted ports for the overflow. Just a lot easier, simpler. So even getting these freaking old fittings out of here is, let me tell you, I loosened it all the way up, and then I just had to work it with pliers. But I mean, man, to get these two tanks out, that was like 30 minutes of prying and razor knife under there. It was quite an experience. But I still as hard as it was to get out, and I'll take the guy's name off because he's gone. Let him rest in peace. But this was crazy. Okay, I'll show you something else that was really interesting. So this was the step down from the regular line, which was some Tygon. Nothing wrong with Tygon, I just don't use it. That was the feeder to the engine. I mean, man, I don't know if you can get perspective on that, but that's like 3 millimeter this is what I would send to the engine normally. That was, but I mean, I don't know how that engine would have stayed running, unless it was like an 80 maybe. But yeah, so interesting things you find, and of course everything's gunked up from setting for 10 years or so. But just a little bit of the journey. Basically, just, you know, I got the nose apart, I've been tearing it down, and I'm gonna pull all the wires out now. There's really nothing that was built in here can be reused. I mean, I'm not gonna reuse it. I guess somebody could have, might have been able to. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the wire. I'm not comfortable using these pre-made wires with a bunch of extensions on them. I'll build my own harness, and that way it'll be done right. So just interesting journey tearing this thing down. I kind of haven't done much on it. I've been thinking about, you know, what I'm gonna actually do, and buying some parts, and mainly I was just contemplating the gear and what I'm doing there. But it looks like I can put an electric in the nose with no problem. Pretty simple retrofit. So we'll have the air on the mains, because nothing's going to be able to replace the geometry those things have. I mean, I actually could almost get there with an electric with 100 degree offset. The only problem is the stance of the gear would be really narrow compared to what it is, and why bother when I have this that fits perfect. So I'm not going to dwell on that, but this has been an really interesting, just kind of looking at what somebody else did, and you know, we all have our ways, but this could have been done a little bit better. But that's where I'm at tonight. I just thought I'd catch a little clip. I'll combine it with some other little clips and shoot it out. Anyway, hope you guys are doing good.